you probably have noticed that the main technique I'm used for the voice processing is granular synthesis. So I guess you're familiar with what that is. Yeah? Yeah? It's not necessary to explain that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So the idea is, musically speaking, having a material of a certain restricted length, and by taking out small portions of it, so-called grains, and recombining them in time and space. Space means in overlapping, and you can create new sounds out of it. This is something that is based on a mathematical theory of Gabor, as a Hungarian mathematician who won the Nobel Prize also. And this was first described by Yanis Xenakis in his book Formalized Music. So he speaks about natural phenomena like the hail and the wind and water. So the mass phenomenon of little small sound grains that together form an entity and build up a complex higher being, so to speak. What I'm doing here is, this is the waveform representation of the sound. So it's roughly 30 seconds. And there are different modes how this sound is being processed. The one mode is the so-called scan mode. So that means that I have to restate it completely because it's now in a completely different mode, so to speak, it modes. So this is what you see at the moment. So we have I switch it now to a constant speed. So okay. So you see the curve here that goes through the sound. So this defines the offset where a sound grain could be taken out. And the sound grains currently are very short, it's only 8 seconds. So pulsation, 128 milliseconds, is roughly 8 beats per second. This is the current speed, which I can, of course, speed up. Now it goes into 60 milliseconds. And what you hear, of course, is that at a certain moment, it's a psychoacoustic phenomenon, you cannot distinguish the simple pulses, so they build together a blurred entity of sounds. When I change now the duration into something longer, you might be able to understand what he's saying. Now this voice falls apart. That means with one controller I can make a transition between the original and the completely dispersed sound. What you also might have noticed that the duration parameter of the grain size is linked with the transposition. There's a sort of random transposition the shorter the duration is, the higher the transposition range, which makes it completely impossible to understand what he's saying when it's in such slow motion. This is something, it's a compositional idea, that I connect these parameters together. This is the scan mode, which I can, where the scanning can be done in different speeds. So let's go back to a good original situation where we heard the sound. And instead of doing that manually, the stretching, I can also engage assistant, a real-time algorithm that does this for me. So if I go into the variation mode, it would do the stretching automatically. You see the movement here. So this is the stretch from very slow, very fast to very slow. But it's done automatically. And so on. So this is the first mode, the scan mode that I'm using here, where there's almost a chance that you understand what you're saying. And the other mode is the jump mode, so where he jumps randomly between the sound file, depending on the speed parameter, of course. Yeah? So now he jumps, and there is also a coupling. So you see, he cannot, in this special setting, in a slow setting, so to speak, with a slow speed, he can jump only in a certain portion. So there's a sort of Brownian movement restriction system that hinders that the random goes over the full range. So it can only go into a certain range, as you see. And when I start to enhance the speed, so to make it quicker, you will see that it can move in a wider range, like this here now. So now we are very quick, and you see it moves completely. And this you can also hear. Changing the duration now. With transposition, so it gets into something very different. And at this point, you can't decide what it is. Maybe it has some aura of a human sound, but it could also be something very synthetic. So this is the granular engine, so to speak, which generates the source material. And then is a section of sound processing. The first is with spectral manipulations. The first creates a spectral drone. What is a spectral drone? It's an analysis of the sound, and it takes out the most prominent sinusoidal components and replaces those by sine waves. So you have a sort of spectral reconstruction of the sound. Depending on the source material, as this is very noisy, you will get a lot of noisy background sound like this. So let's start with the situation we have now. And now I mix the spectral drone something that is called a spectral shuffle, which would shuffle some sinusoidal components, which creates maybe we take a now I can enhance the numbers of bands that he uses, and it gets more into organ-like tonal sounds. And finally, we have two processors for the pitches. One is the frequency shifter, which, musically speaking, can be used to make the voice voiceless, or was it heiser if you can't speak. If you have a cold and you can't speak with full voice, you have a certain type of voice, unvoiced, so to speak. There's in German we say heiser. I have no idea what the name is in English. Okay, but maybe you'll know when I show to you. I think we go into the scan mode, so we understand at least a bit what he says. The frequency can also either automatically or manually changed. Then we have finally a flanger that creates a certain pivot frequency, harmonic pivot, so to speak. So these are all the components of an instrument that I've constructed, but this is not the music. The music is a score that is, so to speak, composed. It's not notated in music notation, but it's a sort of instruction set that tells me how to get from the different stages through the piece. So you have watched the score that was here. Gives me instruction what I do with the fader. So for somebody who doesn't know the piece, it's completely meaningless. But for me, it's important to know what I'm doing because I can't play it by heart.